Hello. So today I'm trying the Marine out. I'm gonna pair Marine just with Soda because I can on quad. I haven't used this tower in a very long time, so I thought I'd just try to use it. I'm not gonna really be doing anything crazy, and I particularly actually am doing this because I saw a recent run on Ravine with Marine and Brickle stacking. It was actually insane. I believe it was by Crewless, and I couldn't really find it immediately, but maybe someone will link it down in the comments. So it was pretty cool. But anyways, I'm just going to be doing this with Soda, going for something a little bit more casual at the moment, and I'm just going to be going for a pretty standard setup. We'll just have like Soda on the top, and I'll be mostly placing the Marine on the bottom. I'm not really going to be doing like any Condor shove kind of stuff. That probably is something possible where you could just bring Condor and use the heli to blow back anything Marine down there if needed, and then you'd have Marine at the top with not Psy, what am I saying, Soda, and that would be able to just like take down everything, probably get like a pretty large amount of cash there too. I decided just not to do that because I don't really want to put in a lot of effort today. It's just sometimes it feels like a kind of day like that. So we're just going to be doing something a little more casual, but it's still going to be really fun. I'm going to go for this Mermonkey early game. The Mermonkey's really nice now. It will be increasing the pierce of the overdrives, which is a pretty big thing. It's also going to do some cleanup and slow some things down. And then on the top, Soda's just going to be able to do a lot for a while. I'm going to go for some spikes too. I don't really like to get spalls anymore just because they're kind of weak, but I end up getting them just for this occasion, I guess, because why not? And then I'm going to go for these special operations. It's also going to come in a lot of use on round 100, not only because I can just like move the Marine to the top, of course, but I'm also going to be able to use the Chinook to bring a few towers up to the top to help round 100, so I don't have to spend a lot of money. So I'll be able to get a little bit of cash spare, not like a crazy amount. As I said, if I'm going to do that, I'd have to do some like crazy Condor stuff, but it will be a good amount, and it's nice to see. So I'm going to put on some music, and I'll come back in a moment when stuff's happening. So going into the 90s here, this is like a very standard quad setup, I'd say. End up getting the spiked mines on the top, going all the way for that, so we'll get like some good cleanup up there. And then on the bottom, we're just going to go, well, I guess on both sides, I'm going to be getting a Moab glue just to slow some stuff down, the embrittlement, so that tack will be able to deal a lot more damage and also hit DDTs. That's also pretty important. And we just have all of that on the top. The embrittlement might not have necessarily been worth it on the top. I don't know. I guess I got it. But Soda is really nice around here because the sword charge is just really good on quad. I also get a Sabo just because I realized I'm going to need that for 99. Plus our DDT defense isn't the best, but with just one Sabo and sword charge, I should be able to take out 95 no problem. So there really isn't going to be much of an issue there. And then I believe here I also need to get a Moab press on the bottom eventually, so I can kind of like slow down some of the Zeum cheese at the bottom, and that will be able to take things down. I don't really have the greatest single target damage down there. That one overdrive really can't do a lot. And also, instead of getting like the spike upgrade any further on the bottom, so I went for the spike balls for the mid game on the top side, went for spike mines later, just so we can do some good cleanup, because one spike balls honestly doesn't really do a whole lot. But we'll just be using the downdraft, which is really strong from the heli. Once you get Chinook, it's got a very powerful downdraft just to blow everything back, and that's going to be very effective. I also will have to sometimes move the heli up to the top to be able to get the downdraft up there, but I try to mostly keep it at the bottom. And then as you can see, I can stall out all of the rounds, which is really nice. Quad and Ravine too, actually. Ravine is really good for stalling, unlike some other maps, but you can just get a nice and easy stall every single round, no problem, and it's very chill. So that's all easy. And then 96 goes down. 97's also just fine. I can stall this round out a bit too if I want. It's also kind of weird because like I'm trying to use 97 to get abilities back as always, but you kind of have to use a lot of abilities to be able to beat it in the first place. But that's no problem because we just get a whole bunch of ceramics right there, and the heli will just be able to blow them back where nothing's able to touch them. And now we have all of our abilities back, and we've got 34k going into 98, which is really nice. That's a very solid amount, and I'm able to beat this round up pretty easily too, which is nice. I can wait enough time and get a good sword charge off, and then slowly take out the rest of stuff. And I just realized I was talking about like getting more presses at the bottom. That's the other quad run that I did in the same day. I'm doing all the voiceovers at the same exact time, so I was confusing that one. Anyways, we don't need more presses for this because it's just so cool and so effective. Look at that. And then we just use a sword charge for 99, take all of that down, stall out. The Marine's just really strong, you can do a lot with it, and then we'll be able to get a spike storm for round 100. I did need a little bit of something for round 100, and with that spike storm I might have been able to cut something too. I feel like at least one tower is definitely cuttable, but we can just Chinook stuff around, especially Chinooking Soda all the way to the back was really nice. But because of that, I don't need a first strike, and I can beat everything up with just that one spike storm on 100, which is really cool. So 36k spare, that's a pretty good amount. Kind of happy with that. Very nice, very casual, and very cool.
Thanks for watching. If you want to help out the channel, you can check out these new videos, like and subscribe for more content, support the channel by becoming a member, and joining the Discord to chat with the community. Bye!